When I tell you that, daddy, I love you, I love you, I love you all my heart. When I tell you that, daddy, I love you, oh, I love you, I love you all my heart. When I tell you that, daddy, I love you, I love you, I love you all my heart. Every day, every day, every day, every day, run away. Every day, every day, every day, every day, run away.
Double, are we hot now? And chest break up, hot now.
I want to go to one
hot again. And throw
we get it, but the guy, one mambo. I want to go to one mambo.
And sing low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double, are we roll again? 1, 2, 3, and 4 strong.
We get it, but the guy, one mambo. You want to go to one mambo.
Break up, hot now, and cross break up, for hot again, and chest break, for hot now, and for throw, hot now, and throw along, 1, 2, 3, 4, and double roll, 1, 2, 4, double will roll live.
I want to go to one mambo. We get a mother guy to one mambo. I want to go to one mambo.
And sing a roll, 1, 2, 3, 4, and double roll, 1, 2, 3, 4. Time are we hot now? And chest break up, hot now. Then are we break, hot again, and first roll, for hot now, and first roll. Time break up, are you hot now? And throw along.
When I tell you, daddy, that I love you, oh, I love you, I love you all my heart. When I tell you, daddy, that I love you, I love you, I love you all my heart. Every day, run away, run away, run away, every day.
And are we hot now? And just break up, hot now, and first roll, for hot again, and first roll, hot now, and just break, hot now, and first slow match. Slow, slow, position, inward, backward, forward, come, forward, like slow match.
Tapang with a solo to window. With a solo, John Quendo.
Chibongang Wedati. Chibongang Wedati. Fellow Ambazonians, I want to thank everybody whether they come on board this particular edition for Rebel TV. Make a take of that song by Celine Dion. When I sabi the name for that song, how they call the name for that song, Seth? The name for that song we just come off for play. Now Celine Dion, the singer, in the future, Rihanna and Manu Dibango, and Manu Dibango producer. So I want to thank Celine Dion for that great music. We start this particular edition for Rebel TV. When I sabi Celine Dion, na they sing Ni Jonato, na they make that alto. So it be featured Celine Dion, produced by Manu Dibango, and Ni Alfred Nkwende, na he be the main lead producer, the lead singer. So I want to start this edition and I go talk a lot on this particular day of Rebel TV. I hope my sound quality be perfect. I go talk a lot because I believe say the state of the revolution, everything they on track. And because I talk say everything they on track, it be very important for me for reiterate say La République du Cameroon, they currently suffer hugely from the losses from the defeat of Ambazonian defense forces against the Republican terrorists of neighboring La République du Cameroon. I will start off by greeting a couple of people where they did for comment section, whether they make one or two highs, the ones that where they did for comment section are the Siwuna. And I go encourage everybody to share this particular message. I go also speak in English language because I've been the spokesperson of the Ambazonian Defense Forces. And I believe the international community is heavily beaming its eyes on us, the people of Ambazonia. So let me go on to greet a couple of people while I give una 1, 2, 3 minutes as we start making una share this particular broadcast. Bebe Raoul, thank you very much, Bebe Raoul. Somebody say you like that particular song by Celine Dion. Now he sing that song. Ni Jonah. Now this man, how they call him? Wyclef Jean be sing that place where he talks say Mami Dibora where. So and then the lead singer be been Ni Alfred Nkwende. Agbo Ryan, thank you very much for coming on board. Umaru Shaku, thank you very much. A man of high Umaru. When Petit Pay sings, say Umaru, Montre Louis, Le Wangala. So you know the meaning of Umaru. Umaru Shaku, thank you very much for always watching. Ateteko Wilson, thank you very much. Donku Henderson, thank you very much. Numfo George, thank you very much. Numfo George. And Julio Caesar, thank you. All of them, they comment section, I see when I names them for here, they always like I make a call them because when I call them, they get rebel orgasm. Lyonga Martin Monono, thank you very much. Lyonga Martin Monono. Will be, thank you very much. Will be. I see people that comment about the song. Now that song make a fake common entrance. Just to make a more understand. Desmond Tutu Eze, thank you very much. Ambazonia Rebel, thank you very much. And a couple of people where they did for comment section. I want salute to I want thank you. Since they catch me say I get bar head, I don't decide to make I cover the bar head. Because apparently they don't start catch me say I get bar head. I need to complain. When they catch me, I need to complain. I say, okay, I'll cover the bar head so that maybe they need to catch me anymore. I may put in they see my bar head. No problem, so I get bar head. I don't know. Oh, Ivo, you get bar head. You get bar head. I get the bar head. Me, I have a Cho Lucas. Now what I can join ADF. Oh, just catch man anyhow. The revolution not turn on a coach. All time I will get bar head. Yes, now the bar head this. Now I don't cover them. So as from today, I need to wake up. I need to come TV want to wake up. I must cover the bar head so that make una not see the bar head. Cabin crew, wanna be ready for departure. We'll always share this message. I have a lot to discuss about today, including the so-called Red Dragon, the film Marshall. That man where they always act movies for the BLM. It don't move another one today. And I go play the audio when I go hear them. As usual, for all the audios, it call Tapang Ivo in name. I don't know whether people that they fear Tapang Ivo for this revolution or na say what they happen when na only Tapang. From day one, Tapang in name pass I by own self. When I need tire for call Tapang in him. Every time Tapang I will not do one, Tapang don't come for this one. Tapang don't go side, Tapang don't go left. Tapang. They don't call my name, so my name don't finish. Field Marshal don't move another one today. They call Tapang Ivory name. It is back, and it be very interesting because for the first time I see how humility there for inside Field Marshal. After I be give you order, say if he pass for any place for public for LBLM, he been a diamond. Your brother don't hide it. I don't challenge him. Me move video. In the move video, the move now. Audio for inside night for place where water the pass on the air frog that they make tweet. Crickets that they make crick. All this Field Marshal, it don't move audio and it call Tapang Ivory name as usual. Say na me the sponsor General Ayenke. The question what they ask myself now say, I be thinking I've been a pizza seller as they stock. Say, if I be pizza seller, how I get the money for sponsor General Ayenke? Then they talk how way me, I been a Bamleke man. And how way me, I no come out for the LBLM. Where them come out for the LBLM. Make a describe on a place where my pa be buried. If you pass Mberenka for place where Field Marshal talk, say Ayenke, he go kill person for Mberenka, he go leave soldier, they kill him for day. If you pass Mberenka, you climb for up. In fact, just around that Mberenka, for that place where football fee day for day. So small primary school day for back. That primary school for that valley for down, now for day they bury my papa. If my papa you know be come out from LBLM, they no go bury you for back Mberenka football field. Secondly, if I come out now for neighboring La Republique to Cameroon, Field Marshal where they ever talk for French, he come out from neighboring La Republique. Because he, for all the video, he no know talk English. He call terrorist, not tolorist. Now so they call tolorist. And all the videos, he talk now for French language. He broken now for French. They broken for French. So who command La Republique? Now he command the La Republique. I don't give stern warning for the BLM ever since they appoint me as the DDC in charge of the Atlantic region. Say if Field Marshal he pass for any place for public, he been a diamond. Because the crimes the way Field Marshal, he don't commit him here and his brother, they call him say Christopher Anus. The crimes the way Field Marshal, he don't commit him for inside that the BLM. He pass crimes the way even Charles Taylor commit him for Liberia or Sierra Leone. I want to insist, Field Marshal go remain in hiding until thy kingdom come. We don't find them, we find them, and we still find them. Chris Anno don't cause so many atrocities for inside Northern Zone, for inside Bui, and inside Krugroi, where they talk say he come out, he get a moyo from Krugroi, or from Batibo. They call Batibo people them ye moyo. The other idiot, Sako Ikome. He wear na traditional regalia for Bamenda for can convince people, Bamenda people there. I want to insist, and I go talk this particular statement, make it be very clear. It can be 6 months now where I be give ultimatum. And it be very rare. Say the regular Field Marshal go she don't move video. Ever since I give this ultimatum, Field Marshal it don't go in hiding. And for the first time ever since I give this ultimatum, Field Marshal it move a particular statement. When I don't hear that statement, I don't need for repeating today because I can't talk. It move audio message, and inside that audio message, it sound very apologetic. It try for deny, which is important for us, the speech communications analyst, for analyze the content, which they call them content analysis. When you analyze that message by Field Marshal, you realize and say it be very, very apologetic. It try for disclaim all the things they want to talk, say you don't commit atrocities for the BLM. It wash your hand according to the audio, they talk how way your hands clean, say you never do nothing, and you not be responsible for the death of innocent people and for the BLM or the burning of people's houses. Field Marshal, they reveal a lot of things, they blame the things them on Ayenke, and they talk say no, na Ayenke do them and na Ivo the sponsor Ayenke. That means say Tapang Ivo the sponsor Ayenke. Now, I want to make it be clear as the deputy in charge of defense for the Atlantic region. The Ambazonian Defense Forces partners with the Ayenke camp. They partner with the Yamba guerrillas and all the fighting forces in the BLM except the Red Dragons. But Ayenke has never ever taken the oath to join the Ambazonian Defense Forces. And I am not a sponsor of General Ayenke in any way, shape, and form. We've seen on video horrible images from LBLM caused by the Red Dragons. Ayenke respects the rule of law. He respects international laws. He respects the Geneva Convention. He is a great fighter. The purported video showing Ayenke burning down places in LBLM is a hoax, is a farce, is a sham, is a false claim. It was montaged, edited by La République du Cameroun and sent to Nkonda Titus to disclaim Ayenke in every way, shape, and form, and to prop up the so-called Red Dragons as the only sane people in LBLM, where I come from. I want to make it be very clear. Ayenke works closely and rightly with the Ambazonian Defense Forces. We rescued Ayenke from being killed by the Red Dragons, and we have rescued a couple of people in this revolution, including General Arke of the British Southern Cameroon's resistance forces. We have rescued millions of our people from the hands of La République du Cameroun. Likewise, hundreds of our soldiers from the internal enablers of Ambazonia. Field Marshal, as I insist, is currently on the loose, and he is still in hiding, and we are searching for Field Marshal to be arrested and immediately tried for crimes against humanity in Ambazonia. He has evaded, he has run away from every trap we've set in LBLM and its borders. He is currently hiding somewhere in La République du Cameroun. And we are getting information he is in Beauplain and he has been moving around, and we have been keep tracing him, and we will find him and we will bring him to book in Ambazonia in a public judgment and a Friday morning lashes, about 300 lashes to his buttocks. Field Marshal will be lashed in public. We are saying this because of the atrocities caused not only by Field Marshal, but by his brother, who is a resident in Houston, Texas, and who orchestrates, perpetrates, aids, and abets crimes against humanity in Amazonia. He is called Christopher Anu. I want to hereby insist that the revolution is out to weed out these internal enablers and to fight La République du Cameroun and La République du Cameroun alone. We have the powers to weed out the internal enablers. We have the powers to fight La République du Cameroun and defeat them as we've been doing. We are partnering with every other force in Amazonia. We are partnering with the British Southern Cameroon's resistance forces. We are partnering with General Ayenke. We are partnering with other existing forces, including the Bali fighters, the Bafut 7 Katas, and the rest, the Sword of Ambazonia. But we will not in any way partner with people who side with terrorists who are resident in the United States, aiding and abetting crimes in Ambazonia. On this note, I hope my message is clear with regards to the so-called Field Marshal. I will not go further to explain, and I've explained a lot. Ambazonians, as we speak, we've been receiving information. Permit me to announce this in English language. We've been receiving information from neighboring Cameroon that there is a detention center called the DDR Center, currently hosting dissidents, runaway victims, people who've suffered from La République du Cameroun's terrorism, those who think they can hide in neighboring La République du Cameroun and orchestrate crimes in Ambazonia. And these are former fighters of Ambazonia Defense Forces, because they are the Ambazonia Defense Forces. A lot of them have been hiding in neighboring La République du Cameroun. And they parade the streets of neighboring La République du Cameroun at gunpoint, producing videos and disclaiming Ambazonia, doing live shows and trying to discredit Ambazonia, doing live shows and trying to discourage our boys from joining the Ambazonia Defense Forces or to defect from the Ambazonia Defense Forces. And this detention center currently hosts at least 200 of these so-called Ambazonia fighters. These are refugees who have been locked in detention centers in neighboring La République du Cameroon, including Nyambere. You've seen photos of Yannick Kawa Kawa, who was shot in his own leg by a La République du Cameroon terrorist for denying to make a video to disclaim Ambazonia. And Yannick Kawa Kawa is currently in the hospital. We pray for his speedy recovery after he was shot in the leg by a Cameroon military terrorist just last week. It is very sad, but it's the reality. And in his attempt to escape from neighboring La République du Cameroon after the suffering he went through, La République du Cameroon has not poured out any apologies to Yannick Kawa Kawa, even though he sacrificed his own life to be present at the national dialogue, the so-called national dialogue that held last year. I would want to insist that this revolution will not be televised. We are seeing a lot of things happening in neighboring La République du Cameroon, and our duty is to educate the masses and sensitize the population to steer clear of La République du Cameroon. Nyambere, his family has been abandoned in Nigeria, his children and his wife. The only person who has been given the privilege to move to Nigeria and back is Success in Congo, who helped in carting away our leaders from the Abuja Nera Hotel to Yaoundé. The only person who has been very instrumental, particularly very instrumental in aiding and abetting crimes in Ambazonia through its proxy, neighboring La République du Cameroon, has been Success in Congo. He's been hugely compensated for this great job, according to La République du Cameroon, by granting his free access to neighboring La République and to Nigeria. His family currently lives in Nigeria after they traveled to deposit dead bodies, human dead bodies that are still alive, in the name of Nyambere in Yaoundé. It is very sad that La République du Cameroon is giving this opportunity only to Success in Congo, while holding down the life and family life of Nyambere, who foolishly joined La République du Cameroon. There is a detention center that is worse than Kondengi Maximum Security Prison. And this detention center is called the DDR Center. I would advise our boys not to be fooled, not to be carried away, not to be cowed, and not to be roped into being deceived that going to neighboring Cameroon and joining the detention center called the DDR Center is a way out and it's a way of life. Those who are currently there have no freedom. That is why they have never showed a video of themselves sitting in the houses, in their own houses, in the same Yaoundé where they are. They all live in a dormitory. And that particular dormitory is a detention center where every morning they wake up, a camera is put in front of them to do live videos, to confess against the Ambazonia Defense Forces and the rest. General Beltus, who happens to be someone I spoke with and interviewed on this particular live broadcast, confessed to me that he has been deprived from seeing his own family, his own wife and children, who are presently in Muya as we speak. It tells you the torture these people are going through. First of all, they have no freedom in the same Yaoundé that claims they are all defected Amba fighters. You will never ever see them, neither would a neighbor tell you Nyambere is a neighbor. Neither would a neighbor tell you Yannick Kawa Kawa is his neighbor. Neither would a neighbor tell you Beltus is his neighbor. They don't have neighbors because they are in a detention facility, ludicrously described as the DDR Center. As of this morning, 7 of them were shot shot and killed. Horrible massacre taking place in Ambazonia. These are fighters of the Ambazonian Defense Forces. I use the word Ambazonian Defense Forces because we have one defense force in Ambazonia called the Ambazonia people, the defense and the force. The Ambazonia Defense Forces 7, who were cowed into joining La République du Cameroon for their mercy, attempted approaching the detention center and they were shot and killed. You've heard this information from credible news organizations and even including the La République du Cameroon sponsored National Telegraph. And this is very important because I need to announce to the people that no one is safe and no one absolutely is safe. It is very important that you understand we are the ones providing the security. We are the ones providing the shelter for our people back home. The little we have, we shall share. I always say this statement. If you cannot share when you don't have, even when you have, you will never share. La République du Cameroon could not share when they did not have. Even when they have, they will not share with you, the Ambazonia people. I would like to insist, if you think you would want to go to neighboring La République du Cameroon as a former fighter, probably because you've watched a video of Nambere, of Beltos, of Yannick Kawakawa, lying to you that there's enjoyment in a car that they don't own, in a house that they don't have, and only on a plate of fried eggs, about 7 large fried eggs for one stomach that at least they can eat, you are running into a dead end. It is very important that I advise our soldiers not to be cowed into the merciless war that La République du Cameroon is drawing you into in Yaoundé. Don't go there. Yannick Kawakawa was shot last week. This is information that has been out there, but no one is reporting about it. You've seen photos of Yannick Kawakawa lying in the hospital after he was shot in his own foot by a Cameroon Republican terrorist, simply because Yannick Kawakawa attempted escaping from the detention facility of the DDR Center. They are not having it easy. You will never ever see them hold a camera and pan 380 or 360. They will never ever pan 360. The cameras are always pointed angular because behind the cameras, there are La République du Cameroon terrorist soldiers holding guns and forcing them to confess, to make videos, to woo our own people into joining them in the detention facility called the DDR Center. According to information we have, they eat twice a day. They eat twice a day. And whenever the video wants to be made, they try to pamper them and give them enough food so that they should look healthy and deceive the people back home who are currently living in plantations where they have free food, who are currently living in farms where they grow their own crops, fresh tomatoes, fresh beans, fresh corn and everything. Our soldiers are well fed wherever they are. Don't think they would come to Yaoundé to come and join a detention center where they don't have freedom. I want to make this particularly very clear. The Ambazonian people, you have one way forward. It is Ambazonia. It is forward ever towards Ambazonia, backward never towards La République du Cameroon. It is particularly very interesting that this revolution is revealing itself by the day. The Ambazonia Defense Forces happens to be, if not the only credible defense force we have currently and being looked up to by the people of Ambazonia, who've tested several hypotheses against its alternative or null hypothesis, and they've realized that truly the Ambazonia Defense Forces remains the beacon of hope for the people of Ambazonia. They have come to the realization that Dr. Ayabacho Lucas is the only and the most credible partner in the fight against La République du Cameroon's Republican terrorism. And they've come to realizing that the best leadership, the best mindsets, the most intelligent of all strategists and revolutionary strategists are in the AGOVC and in the Ambazonian Defense Forces. They've also come to realize that not only does the AGOVC and the Ambazonian Defense Forces promote great leadership skill sets, but they also transform people from bad leaders to great leaders. They are all inclusive and they welcome very brilliant ideas. Ambazonia is a free country. As usual, as in my usual habit, I will list to you 20 reasons why we've defeated La République du Cameroon and why La République du Cameroon will never ever succeed in Ambazonia. Starting off with Paul Tasson, who happens to be a principal agent of La République du Cameroon, thinking he could roll out a reconstruction scheme in Ambazonia. He went to Ambazonia to freely reconstruct a country that has been destroyed, according to them, by La République du Cameroon's fight against Ambazonia. They are going there to destroy or to reconstruct and freely reconstruct what has been destroyed. And if truly the people of Ambazonia know that the Ambazonia people have destroyed their own homes, have destroyed their own properties, have destroyed their own streets, have destroyed their own facilities, have destroyed the peace and serenity in Ambazonia, if truly the Ambazonia people know and they blame these destructions on the Ambazonia people, then I expected that Paul Tasson will be heavily welcomed upon his arrival in Bamenda. But instead, he was ghosted. The entire streets of Ambazonia were heavily ghosted. Paul Tasson was heavily destroyed. His reconstruction scheme was thrown in the gutters, and the people disclaimed the agenda of reconstructing Ambazonia under La République du Cameroon. It tells you not only have we succeeded in bringing sanity in Ambazonia, but we've succeeded in what I call brainwashing the people of Ambazonia. Brainwashing the people of Ambazonia because the people of Ambazonia have been brain stained. For about 60 years, they were brain stained by La République du Cameroon. They were brain stained with corruption, bribery, republicanism, nepotism, tribalism, thievery, and all those negative vices. They were brain stained. And we took 4 years to brainwash these stains from the people's minds. And the people are now very much intelligent to reject La République du Cameroon and all its schemes that appear to be a farce, a sham, and a scam. I want to insist the people of Ambazonia, they know that only us Ambazonians and its leadership that is resident particularly abroad would be able to reconstruct Ambazonia. La République du Cameroon has not reconstructed its own streets. They have not reconstructed their own backyard, but yet they are interested in reconstructing Ambazonia. France, that happens to be one of the main colonizers still present, hawking across Africa, 14 African countries paying more than 60% of its GDP as colonial taxes to France. France thinks they want to reconstruct a local community in Ambazonia and not the capital of Yaoundé. It is laughable. France thinks they want to reconstruct Ambazonia and not reconstructing the police that have been killing their own black populations in France. It is laughable. One of the worst countries you may want to visit in your life to watch how people sleep on the streets, how people are suffering, is France. If you go to the streets of Nice, Bordeaux, Marseille, and Paris in particular, you will see black populations sleeping on the streets. I mean, hundreds of thousands of black populations sleeping on the streets, being rejected by the colonial regime of France in France. and yet they think they want to reconstruct an Ambazonia that has been destroyed with the complicity of the same France. We've rejected that complicity. The people of Ambazonia stand resolute in whatever they are fighting for. And for these reasons, I will list to you about 20 reasons why we've won this war. The first reason, we've completely brainwashed our people from this scam, imposed, stamped on our people's brains by La République du Cameroon. The second, we've made Ghost Town a compulsory subject that everyone must learn in Ambazonia. The third, we've made ghost towns and boycotts very, very much effective. The fourth, civil disobedience, that happens to be one of the best tools we've employed so far in this revolution, has been what has kept Paul Tasson wondering why he has been rejected by the people of Ambazonia upon his free gift of free reconstruction in Ambazonia. The fifth, we've successfully raised arms. Not only are we using Dane guns, but now we are complementing the efforts of our Dane guns used by our fathers in fighting white colonialists. We are complementing those efforts of our Dane guns with real-time AK-47s, and we've upgraded to explosives, improvised explosive devices. And you're hearing Yaoundé reporting about the explosives. We have, on the seventh point, set up at least 10 pop factories. I will not describe what we call as pops, but you know what I'm talking about. Those pop factories are very, very much important because they stamp out our authority in Ambazonia and they slow down the advancement of the Republican terrorists. The eighth point, we've successfully rallied everyone around the flag. What political science or political scientists would call a rally around the flag effect. We've rallied everyone around the flag. As compared to 2016, when people's minds were still fickle as to whether to support federalism or support independence, I can bet with you with a 99% assurance, double sure, that the people of Ambazonia and every single Ambazonian stands for the complete independence of their homeland. On the ninth point, we've succeeded through our diaspora remittances, raised funds, whopping amounts of thousands of dollars, if not more than millions of dollars, in supporting this war against La République du Cameroon. Without the complementary effort of the Ambazonia people residing abroad, we couldn't have succeeded, because at some point, money answereth all problems. Money has been very instrumental for us because we've used it to bribe our way in fighting La République du Cameroon, especially in their own homeland. We've also used it to supply weapons, to purchase guns from classified locations and supply and transit and successfully distribute to our soldiers who are in classified locations across Ambazonia. On the 11th point, not only have we succeeded domestically, the international community has been slapping La République du Cameroon with wanton sanctions. Sanctions that, as described by the United States, will strangle the economy of La République du Cameroon and will pressure the military to stop the human rights abuses, the gross violation of human rights, the ethnic cleansing, the war crimes, the genocide happening in Ambazonia. The United States government, through President Donald Trump, rolled out its first military sanction against La République du Cameroon, and that was very heavily announced even by General Housever at the US Senate. And before that, Donald Trump also sanctioned neighboring La République du Cameroon by pulling out its membership from the African Growth and Opportunity Act, also known as AGOA. AGOA happens to be one of those great projects beside the National Endowment for Democracy, rolled out by the Americans to support developing countries, particularly the transitioning of developing countries to pure democracies in Africa. AGOA is no longer part of La République du Cameroon. We've also received an invitation from the United States that Ambazonia would be included as a member of AGOA if they conduct themselves through this passing fade. On the 15th point, the people of Ambazonia have come to realize that any aspect of government in this revolution is a failure, and they've rejected the idea of interim government. Whether the interim government or the pastor's interim government, that idea has been completely quashed. And that is very important for the Ambazonian revolution, and that is very important to restore sanctity in this revolution. The people have completely rejected this idea because they've come to realize that it is liberation first, thereafter it is governance. We cannot liberate a people and at the same time govern them. Because in the first place, if you're trying to liberate, it means you're liberating them from some government. And that government has been the colonial government, and that has existed for the last 60 years. And La République du Cameroon as well has succeeded to roll out schemes, local governments in the name of the Christianos, Sako Ikomes, and the rest to destroy the Ambazonian revolution because they know the idea of a government in the liberation war would only create conflict. We are fighting against governments, and we should fight against both internal and external governments. We don't accept a government in any shape and form, whether the pastor's interim government by the opposition leader to the interim government called Sako Ikome, or the president of the interim government, Sisiko Ayoktabe. We have rejected the idea of a government. But we accept them to come up as civilians, as citizens, to be part of the revolutionary train in fighting the liberation warfare through other strategies. On the 17th point, we have not only succeeded to mediatize our war, but we have succeeded to stamp out our authority in the legal courts in America. We've destroyed La République du Cameroon completely on 4 occasions. A little David known as Tapang Tangu has successfully quashed a so-called lawyer esquire who holds a California buyer license as of 2000, 20 years ago. By the time the little Tapang Tangu was in Form 2 or Form 3 in 2000, 20 years after, he has destroyed that man who holds a California bar license dating back 20 years. And it is very, very important for the state of the revolution because the courts in America have officially, through judges in California, recognized the independence of Ambazonia. I, Tapang Tangu, stood in the courts, in the federal courts where Donald Trump and the rest could be tried. And I declared that I am an Ambazonian, and I advocate for the use of guns and bullets and explosives in defending my women and children. And I have been wrongly accused by Nsalai Emmanuel, who happens to be a son of a terrorist called Nsalai Christopher. And I advocate, and I stand here before the honorable court to say I am not a terrorist, but I advocate for the use of guns and bullets, and I will forever buy guns and bullets to defend my women and children back home in Africa, in Ambazonia, that has been falsely claimed as belonging to Cameroon, and of which I have been exiled. And the judge saw me in my face and said I am cleared. No evidence was put against me as a terrorist. All of them were fake news. Nsalai Emmanuel was ordered to pay me about $11,000, of which I have dedicated that money in the fight against the country where he comes from, the tyranny that he is currently promoting in Ambazonia. I am using that fund or that money to fight that particular trouble. I have won that case 4 times. Nsalai Emmanuel has been sanctioned by the California court twice, and he has been heavily fined money, free money that comes into my pocket. It tells you we have not only defeated La République du Cameroon on ground zero, but it makes its own claims against Tapang Ivo and Baramak, currently in the military courts in Yaoundé, frivolous. Do you know, and how many of you know, that since 2017, every blessed month, our names are being called in the military courts in neighboring La République du Cameroon to appear before the military courts and stand trial for terrorism and 17 counts on terrorism against me, Tapang Ivo and Mark Barretta. 17 counts, including rape. I don't know when I ever raped a lady in Ambazonian. I don't know when I ever went to Ambazonian in the course of this liberation warfare to rape a lady. There is a charge, including the 17 others, on rape against Mark and Tapang Ivo Tanku. Every blessed month, when our prisoners go to Konengi Maximum Security Prison, or they leave from Konengi Maximum Security Prison to the courthouse, our names are being read, and this is common knowledge. Yet, America, that sponsors Cameroon, has tried Tapang Ivo in the highest courts at the federal level, not state level, and freed Tapang Ivo of all crimes, has sanctioned the lawyer who brought the frivolous case against Tapang Ivo, has ordered the lawyer to pay me, not even the plaintiffs, but the lawyer to pay me, scaring away La République du Cameroon from its legal fringes. And that tells you I have no case back home in Cameroon. If Cameroon actually respects democracy, they must respect the democratic order from the federal court in California. I am a free man. I am a free citizen. I wish I could have applied for an asylum right now, and I will get my asylum with the snap of my fingers, considering the several cases I have won, if not all of the cases I've won in California. I am a free man. It tells you whom La République du Cameroon is afraid of. Not only on point number 17 have we defeated La République du Cameroon in the legal courts in America, but on point number 18, we've successfully made the revolution not a Facebook revolution. Some others took the revolution for the Facebook governments. We earlier said you cannot run a government on Facebook, because if Facebook, the owner, Mark Zuckerberg, decides to shut down the business, then your government is automatically shut down. You run a government on ground zero, and you make the people to understand that you have to liberate them first, clear the avenues of liberation second, and then you bring the international community through those avenues to sit in Boya and enact laws that would protect the government you want to roll out. And on point number 18, we've also made the people to understand they would be the presidents and ministers in neighboring Ambazonian. I say neighboring Ambazonian because all of us are sitting from abroad. We are not sitting from the diaspora. We are not sitting from the ground, from ground zero. And we shall not near ground zero. We will not be those presidents. We will not be those ministers. We will sit to engineer the process of change from abroad. Through the liberation warfare we are currently fighting, we shall also support them in a governance structure and reforms. It will be those on ground zeros or on ground zero, like the General Efang and his entire team, or General Arke and his entire team, or General Ayenke and his entire team, to lead the war when it comes to the governance structure. It will not be us. They've sacrificed their lives. They've put their lives on the line, not for us to sit abroad and think we will come to take over as the so-called presidents and ministers. It will not work. Those are the people who would become the ministers and presidents in Amazonia. Prepare your mind for that. As we sit abroad, so shall we remain abroad. In Eritrea, it happens. when the Eritreans were on the verge of erecting a new government after about 32 years of a liberation warfare, they selected only those people who were fighting in Asmara. They selected only those who were fighting on the fringes of Asmara. They selected only those real-time guerrilla fighters to stand and continue the fight towards a political peace-building process. It will be the same thing in Ambazonia. You, Dr. Ayabacho Lucas, you, Mr. Benedict Kwa, you, Mr. Sheikavi Womilim, me, Mr. Tapang Ivotanku, you, Mr. Mark Beretta, you will not go closer to Ambazonia to become the ministers and presidents. Let me make this clear once and for all. And no one will go closer to Ambazonia to become those presidents you sit and you're nursing those negative agendas and destroying the revolution with political agendas at a time when you're supposed to roll out and stand on the liberation agenda. On point number 20, we've not only succeeded to bring down La République du Cameroon, but we've destroyed the economy. La République du Cameroon's economy is flaccid. According to the Nkafu Policy Institute, La République du Cameroon loses about 6 billion every month as a result and a direct consequence of the Ambazonia warfare. And this is very, very, very important because it tells you ghost towns, boycotts, and civil disobedience have hugely contributed to La République du Cameroon's negative balance of payments, what we owners of economics will call BOP. They are currently running on a negative balance of payments. And that is important for us as we forge on in this war. We've also stopped the production of oil in the Bakassi Peninsula, where the Ambazonia Defense Forces is heavily present. We've also stopped the production of cocoa, as you've seen the newspapers of neighboring La République du Cameroon reporting. Our military camps are currently based on cocoa plantations because we own the land and we will not leave from the land. In the days of General Ivo, propaganda was rolled out against General Ivo as building military camps in cocoa plantations. And according to them, the Mukete cocoa plantation. Let me make this clear. We own all plantations, and plantations are not owned by the Muketes, who've stolen the rights of the people for the last 100 years. Let me make this clear. No one owns any land resource in Ambazonia. And if you think you are in the diaspora buying land right now because you see the people who are very vulnerable fleeing from their homeland, fleeing from their land resource, and you want to exploit their vulnerability by putting a few millions to steal hectares of land, you are wasting your time. The land is not yours and we shall chase you out of that land. There shall be no construction going on in Ambazonia. There shall be none. If you are building a hotel, it will be brought down. Don't construct in Ambazonia. We have not reached at the phase of construction. I want to make this particularly clear to those bushfallers who think they can sit abroad, not supporting the revolution financially, but they want to support their businesses financially. There is no construction in Ambazonia. Our people are in the bushes. You are aiding and abetting crimes. You are helping La République du Cameroon to bring girlfriends and sleep in those hotels and promote your businesses, while our people are suffering in bushes. There shall be no construction. If you see any hotel being erected in Ambazonia, destroy it. Bring it down. Our people will not be fighting in the bushes and sacrificing to protect the little they have, while you are running businesses in Ambazonia, sitting abroad, pumping millions onto a stolen land. I insist, stolen land. And you think you would be the richest person amid a war. It will not work. If you are thinking of buying land in Ambazonia, you have to contact the people who are concerned at the point when we will roll out a government. The government of La République du Cameroon, through its Ministry of Land Survey, has no business on our land. And so if you want to have land titles signed by the colonial regime of neighboring La République du Cameroon, we will seize the land. And I speak, there shall be a land reform immediately we set our feet on Ambazonia. That land reform happened in Brazil, in Latin America. It happened in Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, during the first and second Chimurenga, and in 2000 in Zimbabwe, it happened. The third land reform will happen in Ambazonia. Our land has been stolen. The people's right to the ancestral land was colonized, was stolen. And we will do a land reform to redistribute this land to the right people who own the land. If you think you have a land title in Ambazonia, I am sorry for you. In future, you will tell us whether the land title was signed by a La République du Cameroon so-called delegate of land survey, or you will tell us if it was signed by a duly appointed Ambazonian land surveyor. The Ambazonia Defense Forces and its people have the right to invade any land in Ambazonia and take shelter. You have the right to go into any public so-called hotels and take shelter. You have the right as refugees to storm any hotel and sleep in those hotels. No one should tell you you are evicted from their private property. There is nothing as private. And I'm making this clear for those potential business investors or those who are already illegally investing in Ambazonia to know that you're wasting your time. So I have said it, and my words are the laws. What I have said, I have said. We are currently in a process of evicting anyone who has illegally acquired land in Ambazonia. Those who bought land under the Ministry of Survey or whatever has been described as land survey, we will seize the land. We don't want to see any surveyor surveying the land in Ambazonia. We don't want to see those theodolites on our streets. We don't want to see them. We don't want to see any development process in Ambazonia. Just like we are chasing out the John Gutes, just like we are chasing out the Paul Tassons, and we are chasing out France from its reconstruction scheme, we have not officially announced any reconstruction in Ambazonia. And so anyone who is mounting a theodolite on the streets of Ambazonia, that thing will be hit on your head. Take it back to those so-called officers and sit quiet and wait and pray for the day we have independence before you would bring out those theodolites on our streets. No selling of land at this point of the revolution. If you are a victim of theft, of land theft, report to me immediately. Write to me on this page. My WhatsApp number is there. We will investigate and we will kick the person out of your land. No one occupies any land in Ambazonia. And no one has the right to any land. Mukete's land has hereby been seized by the Ambazonian Defense Forces. The CDC plantation belongs to the people of Ambazonia, not to the government of La République du Cameroon. We've seized the CDC plantation. We've seized our Bakassi oil rigs. We've seized any land owned by anyone who thinks he is a guru, a mogul, a cocoa mogul. We've seized all. If you have any problem with your land in Ambazonia or with your parcel of land in Ambazonia, report to me, and whoever is on that land will be evicted. No one owns anything in Ambazonia. We would redistribute this land completely once and for all. If it pains you, it pains you. We are at war. I hereby insist that not only land has been seized, but we have stopped the production and the illegal exploitation of timber. No timber exploitation. None. None. We are grounding down businesses. In Egypt, in the biblical times, the Old Testament, Yahweh wrote out 7 years of famine and 7 years of plenty in the same Egypt where Joseph was plunged into a well by his brother and sold for 20 pieces of silver. I want to insist that not only are we going through a period, 7 years of famine, look at the end of the tunnel, we would have 7 years of plenty, where all other countries in the world will be coming to do business in Ambazonia, because we will be the richest country in the world after 7 years from now. The Egyptians went through the same thing. Their biblical story is very much akin, similar, a similitude to what is happening in Ambazonia. We've gone through only 4 years of famine. Only. The Bible says the Egyptians went through 7 years of famine, and they experienced 7 years of plenty. We are stockpiling. We are banking. We are protecting the little resources we have, because we know after this passing fade, we will go through luxury. We will enjoy. There would be luxury in Ambazonia. So Ambazonians, be very patient, because you will harvest and neighboring countries will come to harvest or beg from you, and you will be giving them in abundance because you have abundance. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. The Israelites, while suffering in Egypt, went through at least 460 years of penury. We've gone through 60 years of penury. It is not to say we will go through 400 years, but our end to our sufferings is near. Be patient. Stay and harvest. Those who will not be patient will rush to join La République du Cameroon. Nothing is changing in La République du Cameroon positively. If you follow the news, even if you look at World Bank indicators and IMF indicators, the neighboring Cameroon's GDP has nosedived. In 2015, they had a GDP of 5.7. In 2016, that GDP crashed to 2.7. And it has remained so till today, 2.7. The lowest GDP a country in Africa has ever had. Meaning it is not even a country. It is a breadbasket. It is a basket case. Paul Biya Bartholomew Bimvonda of blessed memory inherited a GDP in 1982 from Ahijo of nearly 10%. That GDP he inherited was 8%. 8. At that time, Cameroon was the fastest growing economy in Africa. And 37 years later, that GDP has gone down to 2.7%. That is unimaginable. That is unimaginable. Under the same leadership, under the same recycling regime, a regime that dismisses a minister today and recycles that minister the next 5 years. The same people in government as of 30, 40 years ago are still present in government today. The Ngiomas are still present in government. None of them have been evicted from the positions. And the same system that inherited a GDP of about 8%, go and check it out on the World Bank indicators. The GDP Cameroon inherited under President Paul Biya was 8-point-something%. And today that GDP is 2.7. And under Ambazonia's watch, it has crashed. So if you're going to join neighboring Cameroon, you're not only joining a failed, flaccid economy, but you're joining and you're violating osmotic laws. We are the stronger solutions. We have to draw the weaker one. But if the weaker solution is drawing the stronger one, it is a plasmolytic. It's a plasmolysis and a plasmolytic solution. So how can you be going to the weaker solution, whereas we are the stronger solution? We are supposed to be drawing Cameroonians into Ambazonia. And that is already happening. But if you ludicrously sit in the stronger solution and you are being pulled by the weaker solution, you are only respecting plasmolysis. We think osmotic pressure is stronger than plasmolytic pressure. You should come to us because we are stronger. And by the day we are conquering, we have rallied everyone around the Ambazonia flag. We are destroying La République du Cameroon as we forge on. We are now pulling the weaker solution. We have become the stronger solution. La République du Cameroon is begging. And that is why they are coming to you to beg that they want to reconstruct what they destroyed or what they destroyed, thinking they were stronger. So don't be fooled to go to neighboring La République du Cameroon because they are the weaker solution. We don't respect plasmolysis. We respect osmosis. Ambazonians, get this clear once and for all. We are the strongest generation of youths who are taking up the mantle to correct the mistakes of our fathers. We are the strongest generations of youths who've decided to use our bare hands and bare feet in what has been described as the barefoot soldiers to destroy La République du Cameroon with the boats, with the machine guns, with the tankers being rolled out in our streets. We have not only secured our airspace. Ask yourself this question. Have you ever seen any helicopter, any plane owned by La République hovering across the airspace of Bamenda? Have you? When this struggle started, they were terrorizing the airspace of Ambazonia with helicopters, helicopter gunships. They were terrorizing the airspace and violating the airspace of Ambazonia with helicopters. Have you seen any of those helicopters hovering over Ambazonia within the last 2 years? No. Because we've acquired weapons that can bring down these helicopters in a twinkling of an eye. We are strong. We are powerful. So don't be deceived. La République du Cameroon should have been crushing us now with helicopters, airlifting things into Ambazonia with helicopters, airdropping things into Ambazonia with helicopters. But they are not doing so because the few helicopters left will be immediately brought down. It stands to the ADF AGOF C. The materials we've acquired. As of last week, we purchased 9,000 bullets. If you can count one bullet, you will count 9,000. We purchased 9,000 bullets, meaning we can successfully shoot consistently for several days without ending, and we are still getting more. All of these weapons are for the defense of our women and children. They are purely for defensive purposes and not for offensive purposes. So by us shutting down the airspace, completely shutting down the airspace, it stamps out our authority over Ambazonia. You are the wisest people, the wisest generation of civilians who've ever existed. Do you know why? Because you are protecting your future generation. Not to speak bad against our fathers who are in their plus 60s. They did not protect this generation. Have you asked yourself or yourselves why the oldest among all the fighters and the genuine fighters is about 35 years old? Ask yourself this question. Why do you not see fighters who are in their 60s? Why do you see only fighters who are in their 30s, in their 20s? It is simply because the older generation has failed us and the youths have said enough is enough. I will not born my kid to be blood choked by a La Republican terrorist boat on the streets of Ambazonia. It is simply because the people of Ambazonia have risen to their feet to say, hey, Papa, Mommy, you guys did not fight for us when I was still a baby. You allowed me to grow up only to die with a gunshot in my head. I will not allow this to happen in the few seconds I have alive to live on earth. I have to protect that baby I have just had 2 days ago. And that baby will grow up in a sane environment without any bullet flying over his head, knowing that he can acquire education, knowing that he can have a job as an Ambazonian in Ambazonia under the Ambazonia government, knowing that he can live as a free citizen without colonialism nor neocolonialism. We are not fighting for ourselves. I know I will never step my feet in Ambazonia. Never. I can bet you on that. I know I will never ever step my feet in Ambazonia. So the best I can do is to fight for my people to be free and so that my children can visit Ambazonia. If someone tells you they are fighting for themselves or trying to position themselves in this revolution, tell them it is an unwinnable misadventure. And use my words, whatever you are fighting for to acquire in Ambazonia as a political position, it is an unwinnable misadventure. So get this clear. All of us, you watching me, you seated in your living room and watching me, you holding your phone on your bed and watching me, you sitting in some parlor or outside and watching me on your couches, you will not go to Ambazonia to acquire those political positions. You are fighting for those people back home to acquire the political positions. It is not for your interest, it is for the interest of those who are suffering back home. When you sit abroad and you send money back home, you're trying to empower your family. By empowering yourselves here, you have to empower your family back home. It's not as if you're sending money back home, they will put you chinda when your papa die. Or you're sending back home, when you go back home, they will replace you for your father. No, you will never take the position of those who are back home. Those who are back home are playing their own roles while you are here playing your own role. That is the same logic that applies to this liberation phase of the revolution. And that is what Gideons will hate to hear, because they know they want to acquire those positions for their own personal aggrandizement. That is why we still insist. If you are using this revolution for a money-making distribution bazaar, you're wasting your time. If you are using this revolution illegally to siphon funds, you're wasting your time. If you are using it to run businesses, you're wasting your time. If you are using it and projecting yourself as the next Minister of Communications or President, you're wasting your time. No one can give you a definite time as to when this revolution will end. But for certainty, with all assurance, I can guarantee you that we are already on the brink of success. And La République du Cameroon is on the brink of a collapse. If Ambassador Cohen could tell you we are not losing the war and La République du Cameroon is not winning the war, it means we are currently at a power parity stage as described by the political scientist Professor Buenos de Mesquita in his book The War Trap of 1980. We are at a power parity stage. In fact, we are at a power transitioning stage. Both nation states are trying to transition in terms of power. And Ambazonia is now surpassing La République du Cameroon. Fellow Ambazonians, if anyone tells you anything in this revolution, you have to reject it. I will let the lines open for people to call. And I've blocked Wiseman Bill. Wiseman Bill has been blocked. You want to call the revolution the comedy revolution? You should be laughing at Yannick Kawakawa, who currently lies with a gunshot wound in his leg, shot by his own protector, the Republican terrorist. Yannick Kawakawa is currently lying in the hospital with a bullet wound in his feet, shot shamefully by the terrorist, someone who was walking freely, and you saw him walking freely unhinged, without any mbang, how they call him, that thing about pigeon, mbanga, or how they call him, that waka stick, without any mbang. He was walking freely without any mbang. Suddenly, he's lying on a hospital bed with a bandaged leg, gunshot wound, blood oozing out from the feet. It tells you exactly what has transpired. This is information and credible information we having from neighboring La Republic. Yannick Kawakawa was shot in the foot by a Republican terrorist. None of them are safe. None of them. None. It is funny though. None of them are safe. Thank you very much, Ambazonians. I wish you have a happy, nice day. I just had this very brief, short message for you today. And this broadcast, as usual, will be streamed on YouTube. I want to thank all those who are following my YouTube page, Rebel TV Ambazonia. If you Google Rebel TV Ambazonia on YouTube, you can follow my page. So don't miss any edition. My broadcasts are very, very much clear for your 16, 14-inch or 16.4-inch televisions. So you can always sit in your living room with your kids and watch Rebel TV on YouTube. Stream it on YouTube. Enjoy the revolutionary orgasm on YouTube. Be blessed and have a nice day.